Quick reminder, jump to the victory screen to get a kind of like short rundown of what I'm about to say and go over without having to watch through all the gameplay that's about to go down, even though one of the changes is gameplay driven, so that might be important. But if you want the short, like too long, didn't watch version, jump to the victory screen at the end of the video. Pretty easy to find because I'll be on it for a good 3 minutes probably, for a shorter rundown of what I'm about to go over. So, what I'm going over on this video, which it took me a while to do because I'm lazy, is in 5.24 we had some more Jinx changes, and I didn't break them down. Partly, admittedly, because I didn't quite understand them, so it took me a second to get, and then also because it was December and I was lazy. That's really all it was to it. So that's why this video took so long. That we're almost at a new patch tomorrow, and I still haven't, gotten over this. So just a quick rundown is bug fix. There's not necessarily a bug fix, so to speak, but there was a delay because in 5.22 with the preseason changes, what they did is they nerfed Fishbones. It now shoots 15% slower than it used to, but in exchange they buffed her passive. It now runs for 6 seconds and it can stack attack speed as long as you're chaining it and getting kills or assists and stuff. Unfortunately, this left a side effect where you would be rooted while you were firing rockets from Fishbones for a longer duration than intended. So that was in 5.23 is what that happened. 5.22 possibly even as well. So unfortunately what this did is it meant with things like kiting and stuff, you would be rooted for slightly longer, only about a 0.04 of a second, but that still might be life or death when you're already in a mobile AD carry. So that was that. The second, I call this a buff personally, but another problem that came up was, yeah, my last hitting's still garbage. Okay, so then I have to focus on that. Is Runon's Hurricane. Now, I don't remember, maybe I just never bought it before because there was never really a need on Jinx, but I could have swore at some point in time it actually never worked on the rocket launcher at least. So there was no reason really to buy it on Jinx when you could just buy a different attack speed item and get the same results, because Fishbones already does AoE. Yeah, you stay away. Sorry about that. Anyway, so what they did is when they kind of changed the item somewhat with the AD carry preseason changes coming in, so not everybody can AoE crit pretty much. It still didn't work on Fishbones in terms of the side bolts that you would make on it didn't crit. So that probably, I assumed, I just didn't even know it was a problem. I assumed it was because Fishbones already does AoE, it didn't do it on her, but apparently it's supposed to do it on her. Just about everybody, so yes, Thunderlords. Why not just go full on preseason right now? That was my assumption. Apparently that was a bug, and the side bolts are supposed to crit regardless, which is, in my opinion, might be part of the bug problems, is because all these, I don't know. If it didn't used to work, that's the thing. I don't know right now, and someone might be able to remind me because they do know. But I could have swore you couldn't always do that anyway, so maybe now doing it is what caused the bug, but the side bolts didn't always crit, and now they do, they fixed it. But the buff I'm talking about, in my opinion, is that they also made the item more entertaining just to build now, because now, I guess to make up for that fact, they made the mini bolts now mini rockets when you're using Fishbone, so it's like, I should have played the Slayer skin, because it looks like you're shooting like a wave of fire at some point. But I'll show you because I'm going to build that item in a second here. Just need to build up some gold though, but this is the part where it gets boring because I just kind of try and oh well. So maybe I'll just rush Hurricanes first, so actually I can show that immediately instead of IE into Hurricanes. Sure, why not? Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm gonna rush Hurricanes so I can show you what I mean, because it's kind of okay. But the delay time. So here's the delay time. I'm trying to level up fish bones a little bit. I won't go all the way to level 9. That might take us too long. Pretty much what it meant. It meant while attacking too. So it wasn't just like you just standing like. Let's go back here. Didn't mean like the delay time between you rotating between weapons here. It meant while you were rotating weapons while attacking though. Because as you know, a thing you can do, this thing you can do, someone's like, let's say halfway low on health and you try, you know, shooting them down with a minigun for DPS and they start getting away. You switch to the rocket launcher. Rocket launcher has extra range. You might be able to hit them at the edge of the rocket launcher's attack, you know, range before they get out of that range and secure the kill because the minigun can't shoot as far as the rocket launcher. And if they're running away, you know, you want the range. I'm trying to take some harass to draw her in. Here we go. Actually, I might not survive this. I'm hoping she retreat back into the chompers. There we go. See, she was running away, so I used the. I'm not gonna get so. And I flashed the wrong way. So that was bad. It's funny because I was like, oh, I don't need to worry about last hitting. Well, if I actually did worry about last hitting, I could just get the gold off of last hitting to rush this item. Show you what guys I'm talking about. But I can actually do it on the minions too here. So the delay between when you're attacking stuff doesn't have to actually be a champion. I didn't think of that before for some reason. I don't know if I have enough for anything in Hurricane. I don't. And that's the thing, you still kind of don't need Hurricanes, it's just more entertaining of an item. Which is unfortunately the debate I had with somebody who was like, oh, like, you know, you must be like a silver or whatever. It's like, no, I don't think you're understanding what we mean by it's more fun to use. Like, no, it has no strategic advantage whatsoever. But it's more fun to use. I'm sorry, I want to have fun, so. Exactly. Exactly what you said. That was perfect timing. Anyway, I want to get a kill. Start really want. All I want for Christmas is you to die. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, I want the gold. I really want to use that cross map, but I want the gold. I need the gold because I want to hurry this up. But that's what I mean. So Sivir started running, couldn't hit him with the minigun anymore. Switched to the rocket launcher, had the extended range. There was a bigger delay time than intended when doing that, so that was an issue. That was the bug that was fixed. They're dead now. They're right there. Oh, jeez, that was actually, I thought the damage would carry over. Whoops. Again, we hit him with the rocket launcher because they're too far out of range for the minigun. And so that was the difference. If you had a slight delay even, maybe that was the delay that let them get away, which I don't know if that's technically terrible, but that was the thing with the preseason changes. Okay, now I remember my notes because I'm not looking at anything. I'm trying to do this off memory. That's what I remember I was going to talk about. Because remember, they're doing the whole thing where they're trying to make certain champions feel and play a certain way, have an identity. Part of the reason why they nerfed Fishbones is because they want Jinx to rely more on other people to get excited. Like, at least in the first kill, not like she has to only be able to get kills with her teammates, but being able to only get that snowball rolling after the first one, having to use the teammates to do that. That was the concept anyway. So with this, that would make it harder than to get that first kill to get the snowball rolling though, so then they had to adjust that once again, because then that was just an unforeseen nerf that wasn't supposed to be a thing. When the snowball first starts to get rolling, it's fine, but if you can't even get it rolling, well then and that's now going to be your niche, however you want to pronounce it. And you can't get it going, and that's like the whole focus of what everybody's eventually going to be, is like a certain identity for a character when you play them in the game anyway. That defeats the purpose. Now I have Hurricanes, so I can finally show you the mini rockets, by the way. See, I'm shooting multiple rockets there. He's gonna get away. He's gone. Alright, so here's a good wave. The mini bolts are now mini rockets, and I find that entertaining, so I don't really care what other people say. Now, I still kind of like Rapid Fire Cannon the best right now, but I do like how this item's a little bit more appealing for that one reason alone. There's no like advantage that the mini rockets aren't also doing like, you know, 25% damage extra if you buy items specifically. It's still probably more beneficial to buy rapid fires for sieging because you want to try to get away from people. Yeah, map awareness, that has backup. Okay. I didn't expect that much damage to come out, or else I wouldn't have wasted the zap. And with these mini rockets, like it's not mana cost increase either, where because you're firing 3 rockets, it's costing 60 mana per like auto. No, it's none of that. There's literally nothing different outside of the fact that there are mini rockets now. Like it's not. Let's just make a random build because that'll make this a bit more entertaining. Like there's none of that is a thing because of this, right? It's just mini rockets. I just find that more entertaining, that's all. That's really all it is. The way I see it is that because they changed all of the Zeal based items in one way or another, right? You could go rapid fire, you could still go static shiv. Static shiv is probably the item I buy on Jinx the least unless I'm really just farm focused and not really trying to focus skills. Because she already has the wave clear on her rocket launcher, right? It already does AoE. And that will do, I mean it doesn't clear minion wave at level 1, but it will clear minion wave as the game goes on and you level up and you buy items, right? You can buy a Phantom Dancer, at least back before, I don't really buy Phantom Dancer anymore. I just don't like Phantom Dancer versus Rapid Fire Cannon on an immobile champion personally. Anyway, all I was saying was I just like Rapid Fire Cannon as a better because I want that extended range. If I'm already immobile, then I want as much distance between me and my enemy team as possible usually. Now, I guess one of the things I could talk about to kill some time is even though I didn't record a video, I did spam Jinx in December, even more than usual. Instead of like the newer, redone 80 carries, and even got her at 100k max at this point. One of the common sentiments I got is one of two things. One is the usual thing that Jinx is OP. For some reason, I only ever get all chatted by the enemy that Jinx is OP when I'm doing well. I find that a little bit funny because it's like I bet any champion looks OP when they're doing well. I never get those comments when I'm doing bad. Like if the OP champion is really OP, they're gonna do well even when they're like 2 and 8, right? Every time I've seen someone complain about Jinx when I'm playing her is because I'm like 10 and 0 in lane already or something. And it's not because I have all this like broken power, it's because the enemy's just playing really bad. Like I'm not even really that good at this game. But like if you dive me under my tower when I had full health and you had half health, I just find that a little bit questionable. That then you want to say I'm OP because you decided to take that fight under my tower. Stuff like that. But the other thing was that Jinx is actually kind of weak because some people feel she's the only one that got an actual nerf. Like other 80 carries got changes, but some feel that they're like balance changes and not really nerfs, while Jinx is actual nerf in terms of the slower attack speed and all that. So there's the feeling that she's actually one of the weaker 80 carries coming into this, out of the preseason, despite the fact it was an 80 carry preseason, combined with her weaknesses of already being slow and already having no real self-kill. Like I have the chompers, but so many moves and mobility can get over around the chompers, so that's the feeling. Like I played with the Yasuo who just as soon as we were out of champs left, he's like, well, why did you pick the worst 80 carry in the preseason right now? I was like, okay. Like that's just, I'm not saying it's true, obviously I disagree with it. But that was a consensus that would happen. And it wasn't because I was doing bad that people thought she was weak too. Like with the OP thing, it was always when I was doing well that would come up. But with the Jinx is weak thing, it was always just out the bad. It wasn't ever. It had nothing to do with whether I was doing bad or not. It was just that they thought I was playing as one of the worst AD carries in the patch, or just in the preseason. And then I'd go like 7-2, and like they never took the words back. It was still that was still a feeling throughout, and I'm not exactly sure why, to be honest. I'm just saying that might be what played into it, though, is the whole getting the actual nerf coming through on Fishbones. Maybe that's what I think probably is that whole idea. So then combined with her weaknesses, that just for some people made them feel like she's even weaker, because the people that know how to like play, I don't want to say it insult people who say Jinx is OP. I just feel like sometimes if you're gonna say that when you tower dove like that, like I mentioned earlier, maybe you don't know how to play against this champion at all. Like I tell you what, I don't know from the AD carry standpoint, but from like a support or jungle or top lane standpoint, if I'm playing against a Jinx, I'd probably lock in Nautilus, just because he has so much CC versus her, like nothing. It's ridiculous. But then again, I would play Nautilus in the Vayne, I play Nautilus in the Callista, I play Nautilus into anything because he just has so much CC. He never doesn't work against somebody. Even if his CC does no damage, the fact that it's still CC makes it useful. But that's a story for another time anyway. There we go. Like that. I could have easily missed that skill shot. And that's how that works. Okay, so as promised, here's the victory screen where I go over like a too long didn't watch version of Jinx's 5.24 changes. First and foremost, that a unforeseen side effect of, I guess, nerfing Fishbones' attack speed was the delay time between switching between her minigun and the rocket launcher. Which, you know, I think in terms of kiting, in terms of chasing, in terms of whatever it was while attacking, would make things a bit more difficult. Because if they're out of range of the minigun, you know, you switch to the rocket launcher maybe to get the last shot in. If that takes even, I guess, slightly longer and they get away, you can't get the snowball rolling, which was, you know, the character profile that they're trying to do for each champion, and with her specifically, hers is they're focusing on what it means to get excited. And that means getting kills, so that you can start getting that snowball that she is rolling, right? But you can't do that if there's like, you know, an error with the rocket launcher. Because maybe you can try the shock pistol, but the shock pistol can't go through minions or something like that, so you kind of need the rocket launcher for range as well. Now, of course, maybe you can ult as well, but in terms of a kit, you still don't want something else not working, because maybe something else could work, right? The other change they did was Runon's Hurricane. I still personally would build Rapid Fire Cannon on Jinx, at least early, like as a 6th item I could throw Runons on if I don't want to use any defensive items anymore. But what they did is, because originally, I don't recall, but you used to not be able to build Hurricanes on Fishbones, the rocket launcher. It'd still work on Pow Pow, the minigun, but you would never get the extra AoE critting bolts, or AoE just bolts on Fishbones. And I assumed it was because Fishbones already did AoE, it was unnecessary. So I didn't know it was a bug, though, that they fixed, because they want that item is pretty much like they joked about in the patch rundown. If you want to play as Jinx with any AD carry, you buy this item now, because now everybody can do AoE crit, because the bolts are supposed to crit for anybody. But that also means the bolts are also still supposed to crit for Jinx as well, and they weren't, and that was an issue that they've now resolved. Now, in my opinion, what is a buff, as I mentioned throughout this game, is that now they made the mini bolts mini rockets as well on Fishbone specifically, so you're firing 3 rockets. And I should have played the Slayer skin, because it's a lot fun on there, firing like 3 burning Molotov cocktails at people. It's like a wave of fire shooting out, especially if you have a lot of attack speed. It's actually really fun, and that's the point. It's now a fun item to build, even though strategically it still is, you don't really ever have to build it on Jinx ever, right? She already did AoE crit, so it's still not a needed item. It's just a fun item now, when they did that. But that was the bug fix they did in 5.24. Now there's some other bugs I could talk about that I've noticed that I summed up to. It's just me being salty in the moment, but because this video is so late, the patch notes for 6.1 are actually already up, and it turns out there are several bug fixes in there for Jinx that confirms maybe I was a little bit salty, but it turns out these bugs that I imagined actually did exist. But I'm not going to talk about those here. I'm going to make a 6.1 video when those patch and stuff eventually come out on its own. This is just about 5.24, which we already went over. And again, going forward, we're going to see how things go. Apparently a lot of bugs have came out, and I'm assuming what I was getting towards was because you used to not be able to build on fish bones, and now you can. And also because Hurricanes is an attack speed item, and they nerfed fish bones' attack speed. Perhaps there's like a collision in like the coding or something that's making a bunch of these bugs surface when it comes to fish bones itself. We're gonna have to see going forward. So I'll be doing another video for 6.1 and the bug fixes that they're doing for Jinx in that video. There's about, I believe, 3 bug fixes and then 1 general fix, like technically 4 fixes. I'd have to look again, but that's 6.1. That'll be another video. This video has now concluded as we went over those points and issues. As usual, I'll do another video I'll keep doing these videos as they keep changing. Hopefully 6.1 is the last of the bug fixes for a while, and maybe you know, I won't have to see too many more changes to Jinx in terms of bug fixes as really anybody for a while, because bug fixes aren't really ever that much fun. But this one I thought was kind of fun. What they did when they decided to fix it was make you fire like volleys of rockets. I don't know, I just find that entertaining. I find this champion entertaining, that's why I play her. But anyway, I think that was my Skype. Yeah, so I probably need to hurry this up because I have some other things I have to get done today, but I found time to be able to squeeze this video in. So, as usual, oh, I have a cough too, I'm sorry about that. But as usual, I don't know when the next video will be exactly. Actually, I can say though that I think tomorrow I'll be streaming part 2 of building fish bones in Minecraft. So I streamed part 1, the video for the stream is still up, I think because I saved the stream that you can watch it after it's done. But I'll be doing part 2 tomorrow. We finished about half of fish bones in 3 hours, and then I got a really killer headache that kind of killed the momentum. So we're going to be trying to finish the rest of it tomorrow. We still have the rest of the tail to build and his head. Ooh, okay. Anyway, so that actually might be the next video because I might get that done before 6.1 comes out. So that's just a heads up. If not, then it'll be the 6.1 Jinx changes. I will still be trying to do other content as well. And I don't know when exactly the next video will be because there's still a few things we're working out and a few kinks. But until then, take care. GG, get jinxed.